Welcome. It's been quite a while since I last did one of these, I know. Just doesn't occur to me anymore. I'll just hang on for a little while until people join because I am a minute early. So I've been busy as per usual. Lots of things planned, and I will share some things with you. I've got some things to show, some things to talk about, a couple of questions to answer as well. So if you have any questions as we're doing this, hello, welcome. Just pop them up and hopefully I'll get to them, but if I miss them I'll ask again at the end if you had any questions, and I'll get to you. So hello, welcome. Thank you for joining me. Shelley here, Shelley husband crochet, granny square person. Yeah, so I've got a few things. I've got 4 things on my list to talk about, as well as a couple of questions to answer. So welcome, thank you very much for stopping by. Hi Kim. Nice to see you. Yeah, I'm all in a bit of a mess and you can't see the other side of the camera, but there is stuff everywhere. There's so much going on. Next week, little bug. Yes, so let's get started. I have not done a live for a long time. I'm sorry. I used to do them every week, but it takes a lot of time to prep. Hi Jazzy. A lot of time to prep and think about and get myself ready mentally to be able to do this. So hi Susan. So yeah, I don't do it as often as I used to do, but anyway, I'm here, I'm doing it now. So there's a lot of big things happening at the moment in my world. I have got Granny Square Academy 2 is practically ready. It's been open for pre-order from me for a little while. And it is hopefully going to be showing up, I should have checked before I came online, on online places around the world to pre-order now. I did press the button earlier this week to say, okay, open it for pre-order everywhere. But I haven't actually checked to see if that's happened yet. It should have, hopefully. So places like Amazon and stuff, you should be able to see it popping up if you are not in Australia. If you are in Australia or New Zealand, then you're best to come direct to me because you get special bonuses. One of them is you will get it really early because the release date is the 14th of July. But I plan on sending the books out. I plan on sending the books out when I get back from my next trip that I'll talk about, which is next week. So in a couple of weeks, I'll be sending out the books. So let me tell you a little bit about Granny Square Academy 2. So Granny Square Academy 1 was something that I created because I knew that there was a big gap between you learn the traditional Granny Square and then you pick up another Granny Square pattern, and it's really hard because there's a lot of stuff that's just assumed that you know, but not like the old days when you used to sit next to someone and they teach you how to crochet. These days a lot of people go online and you just learn one little thing. You don't learn all of the things. So Granny Square Academy, I put everything in one book. So it was, you know, where do you put your hook? Exactly. How do you work into a stitch? What are the different kinds of stitches? How do you weave in your ends? How do you change colours? How do you join? How do you, all that sort of stuff was covered in Granny Square Academy 1, which is great. And a lot of you have really loved it. And I have loved to see you do it. But there was more things that I wanted to share about Granny Squares. And so I have now written Granny Square Academy 2. And the first one had 10 patterns in it. And the next one, this Granny Square Academy 2, has 12 patterns in it. And each one teaches you something different, building on what you've learnt before in the first Granny Square Academy and in the lessons in this book. So let's have a little look at the patterns. These aren't in the correct order from the book, but let's just have a little look. So this one here is called Tall Tailor, and it's all about doing really long stitches. I teach you a few little tricks about doing long stitches and how things can go a bit weird with them. It's also one where I talk about crochet gauge in the lesson for that one. So that's Tall Tailor. This one is, there's some really weird names because, you know, I like to amuse myself with names. This one is called Bob Leans on Flow. So that's talking about using the back loop only and the front loop only, but at different times. So some of these stitches have the back loop only used in one round, and then the front loop, you come back to it in a later round to use. So it creates a little stitches, little V's on the front. So that's that one. This one is called, hi Kim. This one is called Billy Between. So it teaches you about working in between stitches, which is very different to working in stitches. There are some lots of little tiny things that really make a difference there. This one is called, oh my gosh, hi Sandy. Yeah, I know, I surprise myself too sometimes, Jazzy. This one is called Popcorn Perry. Now this has got 2 rounds of popcorns, as you can see, but they're made in different ways. So I talk about the traditional way to make popcorns, but also an alternative way that I like to do. And I also talk a little bit about, there's some little funky things that happen in this square. There's lots more things apart from, like this one's about popcorns, but there are other things in the lessons about that as well. What's this one called? My mind has gone blank. I have the book in front of me. How about I have a look? It's called, oh, this is so ridiculous. Where are you? It is, that's right. This one is called Other Round Ricky. So sometimes you can use, most of the time when you're doing crochet patterns, you use the previous round, but this one, quite often you use different rounds. So that's that. This one is the last pattern in the book, called Coalesce Chris, and it uses lots of different techniques, lots of different things. And it's one that I want you to, when you work through the book, that I want you to try and do it with just the written pattern without the help in the video, because really, by the time you get through the 12th lesson, you should have all the skills ready to do this one. And it's really quite cool. It's quite fun. I like it. This one here is called Look Behind Vivian. It's all about the loop behind V. So we've got these little sections here that are worked into the loop behind V. So that's, I think that's the first pattern in the book, actually. Now this one is called Turning Terry. This is all about turning crochet. So quite often with granny squares, or most of the time, I don't turn my granny squares, but there's the odd occasion when it actually does make a difference and makes things look better to turn. So this whole square is about turning. So not every round, but most rounds you turn it as you make it. So there's some interesting things to learn in that one. This one's called Merge Mel. So it's all about merging, about using lots of different techniques at once. Like you might do a three treble cluster over the next 4 stitches, but you skip a middle stitch or something like that. It's about putting lots of techniques into one little thing, and teaching you how to do all of that. This one is called Invisible Jessie, and it's all about invisible joins. So I am not a proponent of using invisible join all the time, but there are certain instances when it does make a difference, and this is one of them. And I talk about why in there. What's this one? I don't know if you've seen this yet, Sam, if you're watching, but this is called Same Sam. You know, you have a conversation with someone, you're like, same. Like, you know, I understand you, I feel you. Sam is one of my lovely testers and who will be with me at Bendigo Sheep Show, who makes bags and made samples and things for me. And yeah, I thought of Sam when I made this one. Same. So it's all about using the same stitch more than once. So you might be used to doing an increase where you do 2 stitches in one. This is a bit more complicated than that, but it's fun and easy. And this one, Lucky Last. Now the first Granny Square Academy, there was a pattern called Spiky Sally, which was one of my favourites, but a lot of people's least favourite. They really didn't like it. And I think it was absolutely to do with how I explained it. I obviously needed to explain it in a different way because so many people struggled with it. So this one is called Spiky Sid, and it is really quite cool. It's quite layered. And I hopefully will change your mind about spike stitches, because we use them in lots of different ways, and the way I explain how to do it is hopefully a lot clearer, and people will enjoy spike stitches and understand them a bit better for this one. All right, so the process has been very long. I designed those patterns probably 18 months ago, and I've, you know, worked on it, put it aside, worked on it, put it aside. And I had a lot of the words written probably towards the end of 2021, but then I just didn't get a chance to work on it at all last year until this year I decided, well, it's getting done. And this is, I've got a couple of print proofs. I've got a third print proof coming hopefully in the mail today, but probably Monday. So this is my first print proof. As you can see, it's quite a thick book. This is my longest book yet. It's clocks in at 200 pages, 199. Maybe you've got to have one on the back. So 200 pages. And it has everything that the first Granny Square Academy had. You've got a lesson that teaches you something. You do a lot of reading, and then there's a pattern that shows you how to apply all the things that I talked about in the reading. Then there's round by round help. Anything that's tricky, I'll show you exactly what to do, where to do, and there's links to videos as well. So it's set out a little bit differently. I mean, basically the same, but I mean the formatting, it's got its own style. So this one here has, this is my first print proof, and it has lots and lots of scribbles and things. I've had to make lots and lots of changes. But yes, so there we go. Lots of very specific round by round help. And instead of, there's an easier way to access the videos. Like this is a print proof that doesn't have them there, but at the start of each help pattern, there's this little black square in the actual book is a QR code that you can just hover your phone over and go straight to the video. So that's a little bit of an innovation that I quite like. Yeah, so it's really quite cool. I'm very, very happy. There's the back. There's the front. This is the second print proof where we changed. You probably can't see that much difference, but the cover photo is treated a little bit differently. It was just, the first one was too stark and this one's a bit better. Yeah, so that's Granny Square Academy 2. So at the moment, this week, we did the final edits, which it's always amazing how many edits there are. My proofreader went through it and found a lot of, not mistakes, but just inconsistencies in how things are expressed, or, you know, I might say one and use the numeral sometimes, and sometimes use the word, and sometimes it has to be the other way around. And when you've got 200 pages worth of words that mention numbers, that's a lot of things to muck around with. And then, you know, there'd be the odd sentence that I would read, that I read, and I'd think, well, it just didn't make sense. So, you know, even after my proofreader, I still found other little things that I wanted to fix. Anyway, so that's all been done. So as I say, I'm getting my final proof either today or Monday. It's in the mail. And once I get that and make sure it's all okay, I will be able to order a whole stack of books. And that means I will be able to send them out to my pre-order people. But next week I'm off to Sydney, so I won't be able to do it next week. I'll have to do it after I get back. And of course, if I get the print proof and there's something else that bothers me that I need to fix, it'll be pushed back by a little bit. But the people who pre-order from me will get it in June. Absolutely, will 100% get it in June instead of having to wait for the release date of the 14th of July, where it will be available around the world from other places. And it's also the first day of the Bendigo Sheep and Wool Show, which is where I will be, and I will have all of my books there for you. So there you go, Granny Square Academy 2. Oh, so that's the books, and this is the sampler blanket that I made using it. So there are 12 patterns. I think there's, I don't even know, I can't even remember, 54 something, I don't know. In this. Something else that's different in Granny Square Academy 2, I have actually given you all the yarn needs to make this, and the instructions and the layout, and there's a border pattern included in Granny Square Academy 2. There's different joining methods you can explore. Yeah, there really is. I mean, I don't think there's anything else left I can teach. There won't be a Granny Square Academy 3. I think I've covered it all. Everything about Granny Squares that I know now is in these 2 books. So yes, I've called it Granny Square Academy 2, Cracking the Granny Square Crochet Code. There you go. Enough about that. Put those away. All right, so the next thing, as I mentioned, I'm off to Sydney next week. So I'm going to the Crochet Guild of Australia National Conference, which is 3 days and nights of so much crochet stuff. It's going to be huge, huge. That's part of the stuff that's over there. I've got a big suitcase that's got all of my workshop stuff in it, my samples, my handouts, you know, sample squares, all the things that I need to take to workshops in there. It's like 18 kilos of stuff. Anyway, that's good. I have enough baggage allowance that I can take an extra suitcase for all of my things, so that's good. Yeah, so the Crochet Conference is 3 days, 3 full days of, there are workshops running all day, every day. There's also presentations running all day, every day. There are social events happening in the evenings. It's just going to be huge and full on and fabulous. There are amazing, amazing, amazing names in the crochet world going to be part of it. There's me. But Deirdre Hughes is coming from the UK. It's Sophie's Universe designer, and she'll be teaching workshops. But there's, I mean, there are workshops that you can come along and do, and there are spaces in most of them. Think still if you want to come along. So, you know, go to the Crochet Guild Australia website and you can find them. But okay, I've got workshop lists and presentation lists here. So I'm doing Elevate Your Crochet on the first day, a whole day class of playing with, you know, alternative ways to do things, making your crochet look awesome. Then other people teaching, there's Jenny King, who is the founder of the Crochet Guild, teaching Getting Squared Reimagined. There's Deirdre, who's doing a Sophie's Universe workshop. Peter, I'm going to say your name wrong, Peter, I know. Kreuziger, who did the Wrapped in Jamie cowl blanket. She's doing workshop. There's Susan Walsh, who's doing Getting Into Garments. Lyndall Reeve is doing Foundations and Finishing. There's a drop spindling class with Kathleen Hanson. Mosaic Crochet, Wendy Thompson. Planned pooling, you know, that cool like tartany sort of effect you can get with pooling yarns with Vicky Ledwig, sorry. That's day 1. Day 2, I'm doing Nimue in the morning and reading patterns and charts in the afternoon. Jenny's doing shawls. Linda Tompkins from Crochet Australia is doing Mastering Cables. Prudence Mapstone is teaching a class. Freeform Crochet with William Stitch. There's Upcycling Unique Chic, which I'm not sure what that's about. Jill Bradley. Beaded Jar, Crochet Beaded Jar by Jill Rakich. I'm sorry, I should have practiced these names before I went on. How to Get Crochet Designs Out of Your Head and Into a Document by Kelly Lonergan. Deirdre is doing a Rag Rugs workshop in the morning. Textured Stitches with Vicky Ledwig. More Mosaic Crochet with Wendy. And a Charlotte's Universe by Deirdre. That's day 2. Day 3, I'm doing a sneak peek at Granny Square Academy 2. So we'll be doing some patterns from Granny Square Academy 2. I'll bring the book along for you to have a little look at. You won't be able to buy it, but you'll be able to have a look. And in the afternoon, I'm doing a Mandalay workshop. There's Tina's Mosaic Purses by Carolyn Cannon. Halter, Crop and Bikini Tops by Jenny King. Getting Into Garments by Susan Walsh. Freeform Crochet with Prudence Mapstone again. Reviving the Lost Art of Doilies by Lynley Buckley. And then Tunisian Crochet with Abby Maid. Yay! Abby's amazing. Then Amamani Puzzle Balls by Deirdre. She's written the book. I don't know if you've seen them. There's like these little creatures like giraffes and things that you make with crochet shapes. It's pretty cool. Noughts and Hearts and Continuous Motifs by Linda Hounsell. Amaguri by Irina Lee. She's so cute. Beautiful little project she's got planned for that. And then there's another Crochet Ideas into a Document by Kelly again, and Advanced Stitches by Deirdre. So that's just the workshops. That's all day, every day. And you can come along and not see a workshop and still have a really full time, because there are presentations happening all day, every day as well. And I wish I could go to some of them. Now, there's some really big names in these presentations as well. Thursday in the morning, Polly Plum is doing a live Zoom interview. Then there's a blocking presentation, before and after, all that sort of stuff. There is a talk about crochet tourism. This is all on Thursday. There's physio for crocheters. There's a panel discussion, so you want to open your own yarn shop with Skein Sisters and from Linda from Crochet Australia. There's a fashions on the field, so there's like you can go along and show off your own crochet garments and things. There's an intellectual property discussion, which is something I really would like to watch. There is Susan Walsh from Peppercoose Designs presents her story as a designer. And then there's you want to be a crochet blogger? That's a panel discussion with Claire Sullivan, who's known as Bob Wilson, 123, from via Zoom. And at 5 o'clock there's a fast fingers competition. That's just Thursday. Friday there's mending crochet in the morning, and then Edie Ekman, a Zoom interview with Edie. Oh, that would be fabulous. At 10 a.m. there is a discussion and debate about yarn fibres and all that kind of stuff. Different types of yarn fibres, acrylic, natural, wool, all that sort of thing. Upcycling, how to create garments from old items, and thrifting, how to do that kind of thing. Then at lunchtime there is a discussion with me and Deirdre on stage, chatting about how we design and write and publish our patterns. That will be fun. There's a fashions on the field again. So you want to pitch your pattern designs. So Simply Crochet editor from the UK is coming along to do that. So you want to be a crochet blogger thing, a fast fingers competition. And then on Friday, there's amigurumi tips from Arena Lee, panel discussions, yarn shop things, I think. I might have misread that other one before earlier. A yarn manufacturer's perspective, how are yarn colours and blends decided. Another panel discussion with Deirdre, myself, Arena, and the tech editor Kelly. Fashions on the field, and a join as you go presentation. And there's another one that I haven't quite got the details of just yet. So there's, as I say, lots and lots happening. And then on the Thursday night, there's a welcome drinks sort of gathering event, networking sort of thing that I'm going to. Friday night there's a gala dinner, which is going to have like amazing things. There's speakers and events and all kinds of dances and lots of things. Yeah, so it's going to be a really, really busy time, and I'm really excited. And I can't wait. I know I'll see some of you there. All right. So if you want to come along, there are spaces in workshops, or you can just come for the daytime presentations. It's totally up to you. Go to the Crochet Guild Australia website and you'll find all the links really easily. Okay. Now this week I did something pretty epic. Well, I finished this. So this is a 2-ish kilogram blanket. It covers the top and hangs down a bit on my queen size bed, about 72 inches across. And I'm only showing you the back of it because I'm keeping it secret for now. This is going to be my next Cal blanket. Crochet along if you're not sure. So it's huge. We've got a center. And it mostly is one piece out to here. And then there are some small squares. There's 4 different designs that make you add around the outside. And then there's this border, all on the reverse. It's huge, but there are going to be options with it. So if you stop at this point here, it's like a really cool heirloom baby blanket, a lovely little square, not little, but it's big enough, nice heirloom baby blanket. Or you could not add these smaller squares and just go straight from here to adding the border. So there's going to be some options if you don't want to make a huge thing. Think the format will be like Nimue, so there's going to be everything. If you just want the written patterns, you'll be able to just go through and just read the written patterns, follow them along. There'll be videos, mirrored and normal, as I always do. There'll be charts, left-handed and normal, as I always do. There'll be round by round help, so any tricky bits I'll show you in detail in photos and word, extra explanation in there, and video as well. So as you can imagine, getting all of that done for this huge thing is going to take some time, but the pattern is written, it's being tested, charts are being made and they're going to be tested. I have a lovely helper who's going to do a lovely colour version for me, and someone else is going to do the baby blanket version for me, sample. But I need to make another one to do the video. I can't, I know I could just do like sections, but I need to make a sample that is without these squares. So I'm going to make a sample that goes to here and then just add the border. That's what the video will be. I will do a video for all of the squares, of course, as well. Lots of things to do. So it's going to take a while, but I'm hoping, in my head, I've got September sometime. I will release it. Whether that happens or not, we shall see, because there's a lot going on between now and then. But anyway, that's the plan, and I'm really excited about it. And just this morning, I think I have settled on the name. I'm just going to let it sit in my head for a little bit longer, but I've been thinking about it for a few days. I've got a theme. I decided on the theme, and I've been mulling over words and things, and I'm pretty sure I've hit it this morning. So that's exciting, but I'm not going to say it just yet because I may wake up tomorrow and hate it. Anyway, so that's that. And that is all I really have to show, except for, oh yes, that's right. There's one more thing to talk about, and then I've got something else to talk about and show, questions. So I've got Sydney next week, goes from Thursday to Saturday. Then I'm going to get home either Monday or Tuesday the following, I can't remember, whichever. And then at the end of June, from the 29th till the 2nd of July, 29th of June, 2nd of July, I have got my own retreat happening. So it's going to be held at Lawn on the coast, Great Ocean Road in Victoria. I've been planning it for ages. It's been, all tickets were sold for it, I don't know, end of last year, January, I can't remember. But since then, life has happened and some people have had to pull out and then they've been replaced by other people. I've had a waiting list that's been like, whoop, 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 whoop. Someone pulls out, contact their waiting list, they come on. Rinse and repeat many times. But this week coming, I need to finalise everything. Like I need to pay up front for everything, and I need to do that next week. And just last weekend, somebody has had to pull out at the last minute. So I have one spot available. I've been through my waiting list and everyone who is on my waiting list and can come is coming, but I've got to the end of my waiting list. So I have one room available. So that room can be a person on your own. You can come along on your own, or you can come with a crochet buddy, twin share, have a single bed each in the room, or you can bring a +1 that isn't part of the crochet event. They can look after themselves during the day and just join us for dinners and stuff. Yes, so if you want that spot, if you would like to come along, shoot me an email and I will get you the information and see if you can come along. It might be your last chance. Yes. So a little bit about the retreat. It's not workshops. Sure, I'll be there to help you if you need help with one of my patterns or if you got stuck on something. That's fine, but I'm not going to be running a class from 9 till 12, rah, rah, rah. I've got some fun things planned. I haven't let everybody know what they are yet, but everything, the idea is you go somewhere where you don't have to think about your food, you don't have to think about your accommodation, you don't have to think about what you're doing every day. There's a space for you to come and sit with other people and crochet or other craft. There are some non-crocheters coming who are doing other crafts like hand sewing or knitting or whatever. It doesn't matter. You can bring anything. You don't have to bring my patterns to work on. You can bring anything you like. It's just about gathering with like-minded people, relaxing and spending time doing what we really love to do. No guilt, no I should be doing this, I should be doing that. You can just come along and play. Yes, that's what it's all about. So all food is covered, all the accommodation. You don't have to stick with us the whole time. If you want to go and have a swim, if you want to go and do a walk on the beach, go for it, okay? But everything is there for you to just come and relax. There's a spa on site. I might have booked myself a little massage. Yeah, it's going to be a fun time. So as I say, if you would like to come, if you can get yourself to Lawn, 29th of June to the 2nd of July. So everyone arrives on the Thursday. We gather together for the first time about 5 o'clock, have dinner, and then we leave lunchtime Sunday. We have lunch on Sunday together, and then that's the end of it. Yeah, so if you can get yourself to Lawn, send me an email, and I will let you know how you can come along. All right, so I had a couple of questions. The question that I get every single time I ask, have you got a question, is, what yarn is that? Which I would be a very, very rich person if I had a dollar for every time somebody asked me. So this is my go-to yarn. I know that's going to be backwards for you. It's Bendigo Woolen Mills cotton, 100% cotton. This is the undyed natural colour parchment. And there are 200 grams, 485 meters in one ball. So just as an example, this blanket here, my cowl blanket, is going to take 11 balls of that. So when you're working in single colour, a large ball of yarn is awesome because you've only got two ends for a very, very long amount of crochet. Yes, so it's my go-to. You can get 10 ply and 4 ply, which I also use sometimes, but it's just my go-to because it's good quality, it's very reasonably priced for what it is, and for the quality, it's amazing. Like there's cotton out there and there's cotton. There's some cotton is just not fun to work with. This is fine. It doesn't split. It wears well. I really like it. So most of the time, that is what I use. Not all the time. I do use other yarns, particularly if I'm making like a wearable type thing. I might use a natural wool. Natural fibres is what I like to use, and that's my go-to. No other reason apart from that's what I like to use. There's no obligations or commitments or anything there. It's just my go-to. Find something you like, you use it. Okay, another question I had was on Facebook was someone said they struggle with joining rounds. So I'm assuming what they mean is my way of joining rounds. So I'm all about seamless crochet so that you can't tell where a round begins and ends. So sometimes in patterns you'll find you can see a visible line up the middle where rounds begin and end. And the way I write my patterns means that you can't tell that. You don't know where rounds begin and end because I work on the diagonal. We work, it's actually in the middle of a corner, what equates to the middle of a corner when you get to the end. And the way to do that is you join, and so if a pattern around had chain 2 corners, in the last corner you would I chain 1 and join with a double crochet UK, single crochet US. And that puts where your yarn emerges right at the point of a corner. So you're in the right spot to start the next round. You don't have to work backwards. You don't have to slip stitch across to get to the right point. You are at the right spot to work the next corner. And wrapping your head around how that works can take some time. I'm not going to demonstrate it here now. I mean, I demonstrate it in every pattern I ever do. There's round by round help that shows you. Granny Square Academy covers it in great detail. It's all over my blog. It's in my patterns. And if you're struggling with it, just give it time and allow yourself time to think about it. And one day the light bulb is going to go off and you're going to understand what's going on. A lot of the time, because I say join with a stitch, and then the next round I'll say work a stitch over the joining stitch. A lot of people miss that word over. They go in, and that makes it look weird. You need to go over it, just like you would go over a chain space. And I think that's where a lot of the confusion comes in, from when I've seen people in workshops teaching them that kind of thing. So that's that. So allow yourself time. Look at the resources that I have. I've got videos on it. Every pattern I do with a video will show it. I've got blog posts, as I say. It's everywhere. Granny Square Academy in detail. So give yourself some time to think about it and learn and practice, and it will all become clear. And if not, if you're really struggling still, reach out. Show me exactly where you're falling down. So go to my Facebook group, post in there, I'm having trouble with this, and show me your work, and I will get you going. There we go, done. Pardon me. And that's about it, really. I did have another question, but I needed some clarification and they didn't get back to me, so I'm not sure what that one was about. Does anybody else have any questions about anything that I've spoken about or that I haven't spoken about? No? It's been so long since I've done one of these. I feel like I've probably said a lot of words I didn't need to. 10:36, I've been going for 35 minutes. That is a long time. Okay, so if no one has any questions, I will finish it up here. Hopefully I will see some of you next week in Sydney at the Crochet Guild. Remember, get in touch if you want to come along to my lawn retreat. And yeah, hopefully you will enjoy all the new things that I've got coming out for you soon. Thank you very much for coming along to watch, and I'll see you soon. Bye.